My name is John Falk. I'm from the United States. I currently am at Oregon State University, where I'm a professor there, a professor of free choice learning, in fact. I was invited here because I do research on why people visit places like science centers and museums and zoos and aquariums, what they learn and as a process of visiting these sites, as well as what they do when they get to those sites. And I'm here primarily to talk about that research, both in various ways. So I certainly my plenary talk was based on some recent research that I've been doing in California at the California Science Center in Los Angeles.
Okay. Can you give us a snapshot of what it is that you're finding in this field of research?
Well, it's hard to give a snapshot since I've been doing this for a long time and been doing a lot of different research studies on this. The big picture is that clearly millions of people worldwide, if not billions worldwide, go to places like science centers and zoos and aquariums. And these institutions actually are very effective at supporting the public's learning. Part of what I've learned is just trying to understand how these experiences fit into people's lives, why they go, what value they perceive in it. And in general, find that the important thing is that most people are going to these institutions, particularly science centers, in order to help them better understand their world, but it's not so much to try and understand what they don't know, it's to confirm what they do know. So they go to a science center in order to reassure themselves that they understand the world, as opposed to necessarily find out about the world that they don't understand.
And are there kind of like noticeable changes in trends, maybe over the last number of years, particularly with the advent of social networking?
Well, I'm not sure that I can detect those kinds of changes. The general trend line has been for more and more people to visit science centers. Part of that is just because more and more science centers get built. There's been almost an exponential growth in the creation of science centers worldwide, and the trend line has been that the number of people visiting science centers has tracked along with that exponential growth in the number of centers. And I can't say as I've detected that there's a huge change in how people use science centers or why they use them with the advent of social media. There's certainly been changes because of broad-scale changes in society, which in a sense, those broader changes are the leading edge, whereas the social media is the trailing edge of trends towards people wanting to be more engaged, that people want to be more actively involved in creating their own understanding and their own knowledge. So in a sense, the tools that have come along represent means to an end as opposed to the end.
Is there a relationship between how attractive an event is or an exhibition and the ability of that exhibition to impart information?
Well, the answer is, of course, yes, but again, not as much as people would like to believe. That there is a relationship between the quality of an exhibition and how much people learn from it, but the vast majority of learning that occurs in institutions like science centers is created by the knowledge that people bring with them. Because as I said, people are primarily using these experiences to build on and reinforce their prior knowledge and prior interests. And so in some respects, the single most important thing a science center can do is to create experiences that the public would find interesting and reinforcing for their own knowledge. And so, sure, if you do it better, it'll help. But you can do it as well as you can possibly do and still not reach 100% success if you don't do it on the right topic and for the right reasons.
Forgive this next question as well, because I'm coming from an entertainment background. But
sure.
I mean, in entertainment, there's always a search for the alchemy of, stick an A-grade actor in there with an action and the script and a few other things. So there's a number of variables that they check together to come up with the blockbuster. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
Is that a trend in museums, do you think?
Well, there's always a search for that blockbuster. It's certainly part of the message that I've been trying to convey at this meeting is that times are changing. That whole film model, although still obviously working to a degree, is based on an industrial age model of mass communication, one size fits all, that somehow we're going to create the perfect movie that will meet the needs for everybody. And in the 30s, you could create a Casablanca where everybody would go to Casablanca, or Gone with the Wind, everybody would go to Gone with the Wind. Today, there is no movie that everybody goes to. And in fact, the movie that may end up being the most popular is an indie movie that nobody even anticipated, a low budget movie. Well, that's the world that these science centers are moving into too. They evolved from sort of an industrial age, mass market, one size fits all, and by and large, many of them are still plying that trade of thinking they're still going to come up with the silver bullet, the perfect exhibition that will draw everybody there and it will meet everybody's needs. But that's not where the future is. The future is truly in co-creation of experiences with visitors and creating lots of niche experiences that attract lots of people for different reasons. And the film industry is moving in that direction. Certainly the music industry, big time, is moving in that direction. This industry is moving a little more slowly, but they will come to that point as well. Because that's where the trends in societies are moving.
Niche is big.
Niche is big, absolutely.